If you're over 60 and you've noticed erections aren't as reliable as they used to be, you are not alone, and you're not broken. But when a video tells you this cheap powder in your kitchen can restore performance, that hits a nerve because it offers something most men want more than anything in this situation: certainty. Certainty that it's fixable. Certainty that you don't need complicated medical steps. Certainty that you can take action today. And that's exactly why baking soda has become a viral solution. So here's what we're doing in this video. No hype, no shame, no miracle promises. We're going to unpack, step by step, what erections actually require in the body, what baking soda can realistically change, and what it can't, the risks and who should avoid experimenting, and most importantly, the evidence-aligned path that supports erections after 60 without gambling with your health. Stay until the end because I'll give you a practical repair plan built on physiology, something you can use whether you try baking soda or never touch it. An erection is not primarily a testosterone event. It's not primarily a desire event. It's not even primarily a confidence event. An erection is a blood flow and nervous system event. Here's the simple model. The brain becomes aroused. The nervous system sends signals down the spine. Blood vessels in penile tissue relax. Blood flows in faster than it flows out. The tissue expands and firmness increases. And the key word there is relax. If the nervous system is tense, the vessels don't relax. If the vessels can't relax, blood can't flood the tissue. If blood can't flood the tissue, the erection is weak or disappears. That's why many men experience the most frustrating version of ED. I still want it, but my body doesn't cooperate. This isn't about not being a man. It's about a pathway that isn't firing properly. And that pathway depends on one major chemical signal: nitric oxide. Nitric oxide tells smooth muscle to relax, allowing better blood flow. So anytime someone claims they have a method to improve erections, the real question is, does it improve blood flow, vessel relaxation, nitric oxide signaling, or nervous system regulation? If the answer is no, it's not relevant. If the answer is yes, we still need to ask, is it proven? Is it safe? That brings us to the question of aging. The reason erections often change after 60 is not mysterious. It's usually not one dramatic cause. It's slow accumulation. Over time, blood vessels get stiffer, the lining of blood vessels becomes less responsive, chronic inflammation creeps up silently, oxidative stress increases, sleep quality often worsens, stress chemistry becomes more dominant, medications may add side effects, blood sugar control may drift, and even if your lab results are normal, performance can still change. Because a basic blood test does not fully measure how elastic your vessels are, how strong your nitric oxide response is, how often your body is stuck in stress mode, or how well your microcirculation functions. So a person can hear, your testosterone is fine, and still have reduced erection quality. That's why simple hacks gain popularity. They promise to fix something that feels invisible. Now let's talk about baking soda, without emotion, without judgment, just biology. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. In the body, bicarbonate is part of a buffer system that helps manage acid-base balance. But here's the most important point. Blood pH is tightly controlled. Your body doesn't let your blood become meaningfully too acidic or too alkaline day to day, unless something serious is happening medically. So when people say baking soda alkalizes your blood, that can be misleading. What baking soda can do more easily is neutralize stomach acid temporarily, change urine acidity, add sodium to your total intake, and in larger or repeated amounts, influence acid-base balance enough to cause side effects. So it's not harmless water. It's a compound that can shift chemistry, especially if used repeatedly. And if something is strong enough to shift chemistry, it also comes with risk. Now, what's the logic behind the erection claim? The claim usually follows this chain of reasoning: aging, more acidity and inflammation, tighter blood vessels, and weaker nitric oxide signaling. Baking soda reduces acidity, supports a better environment. Better environment, better circulation. Better circulation, stronger erections. That story feels clean, but we need to separate two things: general plausibility, proven outcomes. Yes, vascular inflammation and oxidative stress can impair nitric oxide signaling. Yes, conditions inside the body can affect blood vessel function. But the leap from that truth to this promise, baking soda reliably restores erections after 60, is not established as a dependable outcome. So the honest assessment is, there may be theoretical pathways people point to, but the evidence for baking soda as an ED intervention is not strong, and the safety concerns are often minimized or ignored. That's where responsible education matters. So let's do the part most viral content avoids: the risk analysis. Baking soda contains sodium. Sodium affects fluid balance and blood pressure regulation. For many older adults, this matters. If you already have high blood pressure, heart disease, kidney impairment, fluid retention, or you're sodium sensitive, then frequent sodium bicarbonate use is not a casual experiment. Second, bicarbonate changes acid-base balance. Overuse can lead to metabolic alkalosis, electrolyte disturbances, weakness, confusion, muscle cramps, irregular heartbeat in extreme situations. Now, I'm not saying one small dose is guaranteed to harm you. I'm saying this is not a safe for everyone daily ritual, especially not for the demographic most targeted by these claims. So here's a clear framework. If you have cardiovascular, kidney, or blood pressure issues, you do not treat baking soda like a supplement. You treat it like a chemical intervention that needs medical guidance. And even if you're healthy, repeated daily use without understanding doses and contraindications is not responsible. So if baking soda isn't the reliable answer, what is? Here's the good news. There are proven levers that directly support the erection pathway. Let's pivot into what actually works and why. Erectile function after 60 usually reflects the condition of three systems: the vascular system, blood flow; the nervous system, relaxation versus stress; the metabolic system, inflammation, blood sugar, recovery. A quick fix tries to patch the symptom. A real solution improves the systems. And this is where many men get stuck. They chase one magic tool instead of building a stack of small inputs that compound. So in the next parts, I'll give you a practical model that supports nitric oxide signaling, vessel relaxation, blood flow efficiency, and nervous system readiness. No hype, just a strategy that aligns with how erections actually happen. Pillar 1. Improve blood vessel responsiveness. Erections require rapid vascular response. One of the most reliable ways to improve that response is daily movement that challenges circulation. Not extreme workouts, not punishing routines. What matters is consistency and blood flow stimulation. A practical target: 20 to 30 minutes of brisk walking most days, or 2 short 10 to 15-minute walks, plus light resistance training a few times per week if possible. Why does this matter? Because blood vessels adapt. They become more responsive to signals, including nitric oxide-related pathways. This is not instant, but it's one of the most dependable levers. Now, blood flow alone isn't enough. You also need the body to be in the right state. That's pillar 2. Pillar 2. Train the nervous system to allow erections. An erection is a parasympathetic event. If your body is stuck in alert mode, erections become inconsistent. So instead of only focusing on blood chemistry, focus on nervous system chemistry. Here's a simple drill. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6 to 8 seconds. Repeat for 3 minutes. Longer exhales signal safety to the nervous system. Safety allows relaxation. Relaxation allows blood vessels to open. This is not a motivational quote. This is physiology. If you do this daily, you're conditioning your baseline state. And that matters more after 60 because stress reactivity tends to increase with age. Now we move to pillar 3, sleep. Pillar 3, fix sleep because sleep fixes everything underneath. Poor sleep elevates stress hormones and inflammation. It also disrupts testosterone rhythms and vascular repair. You don't need perfect sleep, but you do need stable sleep. 3 high-return changes: consistent wake time most days, morning light exposure, reduce late-night eating and screens when possible. Even small sleep improvements can increase morning erections and overall sexual readiness, not by magic, but by restoring recovery cycles. Now for pillar 4, metabolic stability. Pillar 4, reduce the metabolic friction that blocks blood flow. This part matters because metabolic dysfunction damages both nerves and vessels. We're talking about insulin resistance, chronically high blood sugar, visceral fat-related inflammation, poor diet, recovery cycles. A practical approach that many men can stick to: higher protein at breakfast or lunch, more fiber and vegetables, fewer ultra-processed carbs, reduce sugary snacks at night. You're not doing this to become a fitness model. You're doing it to lower inflammation and improve vessel responsiveness. When those systems improve, erectile function often improves as a downstream effect. Now, let's address the "what about supplements" question, because everyone asks it. Supplements can sometimes help, but they are not the foundation. Here's the rule. If the system is failing, supplements become expensive guesses. If the system is improving, supplements may become small boosters. And medications, especially ED prescriptions, exist for a reason. They target the nitric oxide pathway directly and predictably. If you're avoiding that conversation out of embarrassment, here's the reframe. ED treatment is not a moral issue. It's a medical quality of life issue. There is no prize for suffering quietly. A clinician can also help screen for issues ED may be hinting at, cardiovascular risk factors. That's not fear, that's strategy. Now, let's return to baking soda and give a clean conclusion. So, can baking soda improve erections after 60? Here's the responsible answer. It's not proven as a reliable ED intervention. Any benefit would likely be indirect and inconsistent. Risks, especially sodium load and electrolyte disruption, matter more with age. If you have heart, kidney, or blood pressure issues, it's not a casual experiment. If you're healthy and still curious, the safest move isn't copying an internet dose. The safest move is asking a clinician if sodium bicarbonate is appropriate for you, based on your health profile, medications, and lab history. Because the bigger win isn't finding one powder. The bigger win is rebuilding the systems that erections depend on: blood flow, vessel flexibility, calm nervous control, sleep, and metabolic health. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this. Strong erections after 60 are not about chasing a trick. They're about restoring the pathway, blood flow, relaxation, recovery. If you want, in the next video, I'll break down the most common supplement claims for ED, which ones have real evidence, which ones are marketing, and how to avoid getting scammed by miracle products. If this helped you think more clearly, hit subscribe and comment the word pathway so I know to make the next one. Because once you understand the pathway, you stop being vulnerable to hype.